Hey guys, this is Cameron from GoMoto, and today we're showing off our recently completed GR86 time attack build that we just finished up for one of our customers. So this started out as a wrecked car along with most of the cars that we build here that we get from auction, and then we rebuild in-house with our frame machine and paint booth. So this car had pretty significant front end damage. So we had to section in some of the front frame rail as well as all the small bracketry that goes around it. And then obviously the whole front clip, whether it's bumpers, fenders, and hood were the main things. And then we did paint most of the car. We didn't have to paint the whole thing. We blended as best as we could. So this is the factory Subaru white color, or I guess Toyota, that it comes with from the factory. So once we got it all pretty, we decided to start making it to a fast time attack car. So the first thing that we did is put a set of MCS 2A non-remote coilovers on it. It was Brian over at Carceps who gave us the recommended specs to set this thing up properly along with his top hats. So from there, we got the suspension on, and then we followed that up with basically most of SPL's catalog. So we have the front lower control arms, rear lower control arms, rear toe arms, and then the front and rear end links. So after we got the suspension set up, we threw on a set of Apex wheels. These are 17x9s, and right now we have a 235 Extreme Continental tire on it because the customer requested that he wanted a not so great tire just to learn car control and increase his driving ability and get more comfortable with oversteer correction. But we were planning and are planning to put a set of either 245 or 255 200 tread wear tires on it, whether it's RE71 RZs or Vitors, something along that nature. That's what this car is being built to run. Continuing with brakes, we have a set of AP Racing brakes up front, and then we decided to powder coat them this illusion red or cherry red color that you can see throughout the whole car. So in the back we have the stock caliper with upgraded rotors, stainless steel brake lines, and we did powder coat the rear caliper to match as well. Moving on to the engine. So for cooling, we have an upgraded Rad radiator along with one of our GoMoto oil cooler kits that utilizes an improved racing sandwich plate and 515 cooler. We run that on all of our personal race cars, and it's honestly one of the best coolers you can get for this size. Continuing to exhaust, we have Tomei equal length headers and an overpipe, stock front pipe, and a ISR single exit catback system. And we do have the Verus, the cutout cover that goes on the opposite side, so it's not a big open space in the bumper. One of the biggest problems with these platforms is oil starvation on high G turns. So we are using a Tomei baffle that goes into the oil pan, and we do overfill it by about half a quart to a quart. We do have radium catch can, dual catch cans, just to help since we are overfilled. There's going to be more oil slosh, especially going through the intake, and we want to keep all of that out of the intake track. So we do have the radium dual catch can kit for the GRs. We did throw it on the dyno. Now, given that we have all of the intake and the exhaust, we did not tune it. So this is a bone stock tune. So I believe it made 194 horsepower on the SAE standard of our dyno jet. And we'll overlay the graphs with that. So with the series that this car is going to be competing in, specifically TT5 for NASA, we do have horsepower restrictions. So we didn't want to basically give him too much horsepower to start. So we have a bunch of calculations that we need to do and weights that we need to weigh just to get him in an accurate position for time trial. And if we need to add power, we'll tune it then. But just for reference, bone stock with intake and exhaust, it made 194 wheel horsepower, which for reference on my personal first gen BRZ that I had headers, ethanol, tune, and everything, basically the most you can do before forced induction, I made 192 peak horsepower. So just to start out, it's already making more horsepower without being tuned, which is definitely an improvement from the first generations. Moving on to interior, this is where honestly we spent a lot of the time just because we wanted the customer to be comfortable, be planted, and want him to do really well and be comfortable throughout the whole session. So we have a set of Sparco QRT seats, passenger and driver, that are on sliders. It's the Sparco sliders with the planted seat brackets. And then we do have a Sparco steering wheel, as well as a Walker Pro Motorsports bolt-in roll bar. And when I say bolt-in, I mean there are weld-in base plates, and then the actual roll bar itself bolts into those welded-in base plates along with the back strut area. And this is definitely a recommendation to any sort of time trial or HPDE. It's a very solid roll bar, best bang for your buck in our opinion, without going with a full welded cage. And if you do ever want to get rid of it, you can take it out and get new base plates from them. So we have, like I said, the Walker Pro Motorsport roll bar, and then we have a set of Sparco harnesses that go onto that. And then we have our custom rear seat delete that obviously I'll show video of our carpet kit that goes in there, and it looks really nice. So it's definitely our plan from here on out for any of the BRZ FRS platforms that want to put a roll bar in it. The carpet kit just makes it look complete and like it came from factory, which is what the customer wanted. So Sparco seats, Walker Pro Motorsport roll bar, Sparco steering wheel, and then we have our AIM MXG data logger / digital dash. So this is kind of our biggest recommendation for any of our local customers and drivers, because we can assist them with data analysis and driver coaching. So not only do you get all of your parameters on your dash ready to look at and give you warnings if you have any temperatures or pressure problems, we can then extract that data and the GPS data along with it, and then compare it to our optimal times of our personal race cars and see which corners that you can go faster in, which ones you can brake later in, and so on and so forth. So we try and implement an AIM MXG in every car that we possibly can. It's better for us, it's better for the customer, and it works out well in the end. So we have our custom dash bezels, which are available on our website for the GR86, the second gen. Eventually we'll have a first gen, but we don't have one at this moment. Paired with that, we have our AIM cameras. So we have a front-facing Smarty Cam as well as a rear-facing Bullet Cam. So he's going to have full 360 camera view of behind and front when he's on the racetrack. So we can then pair that with all of his data overlay to make sure he's doing everything that he needs to go as fast as possible. One of the things that the customer requested, given that it is a new car, it does have AC, but obviously you don't run AC on the track. So he requested a beautiful chill-out Genesis system that we have integrated, dare I say, seamlessly into the chassis. So we have it sitting in the back trunk area, so it's super easy to get to and work on and add fluid if you need, and then connect to your shirt. But we also designed and 3D printed a GT4RS style rear window scoop that acts as the inlet for the chill-out system. So this was basically 3D printed out of our ABS, sanded and painted, and then incorporated into the window. We did have to remove the rear window from the chassis, which can prove to be a pain in the butt sometimes, but we ended up getting it done, and it looks really, really well. So we're super happy with it. We do have a custom 3D printed center console bezel that holds the controller for the chill-out system. He wanted it to be in arm's reach, obviously, but he wanted to look like it came from factory, and so that's what we did. So moving on from the chill-out, we can go to the exterior. So one of the things that we pride ourselves on at GoMoto is that we don't build cars just to go fast. We build them to go fast and to look nice. So with our fresh paint job, we also added a couple of cosmetic things like this, like the front lip and little canards, as well as a rear spoiler that's paint matched. And all of the powder coated bits that go along, so it all flows well and the color scheme is what we want. So we have the white exterior paint, the black wheels, we have the powder coated all the same color, the red calipers, the front and rear tow hooks, the roll bar, and then in the headlights, which is the Alpha Rex headlights, we have the little red accents, just so everything ties in to that GR86 logo, which is what we were going for. And one of our favorite things of this build is the customer requested a plaque of all of our signatures of us here at GoMoto, just to signify who built the car. Basically like a Mercedes AMG. And that's what we did. So we 3D printed this bezel that glues onto the factory cover, and then we laser etched our names into a powder coated piece of stainless, and this is the result. So overall, we're super happy with how this car came out. It's not a very difficult thing to do. All of the parts are relatively off the shelf. And we're a dealer for 99% of the parts that are on this car. So if you're interested in any of these, be sure to reach out to us or go look at our website. But that pretty much sums up the Simon Tech build, and we're hoping to get some on-track footage here shortly. But we just wanted to share one of the most recent builds, and we have a lot more coming that are down the pipeline that we're going to be recording here soon. So be on the lookout for that. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.